Rise and shine, everyone strap yourselves in for an emergency broadcast of the Tennis Deep Dive. I am your anchor, and let me tell you, the tectonic plates of the tennis universe didn't just tremble today, they obliterated each other. We are live with a bombshell that is currently ricocheting from the glimmering towers of Dubai straight to the academies in Florida and the buzzing avenues of Manila. If you have just tuned in, set that mug down, silence your phone, and give me your undivided attention. The established order of the WTA Tour has been tested in a fashion nobody anticipated, delivering a blow the United States tennis machine was woefully unready to absorb. Our focus is squarely on the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, a WTA 1000 spectacle, the arena of champions where the desert sun typically filters the legends from the contenders. But tonight, beneath the blazing halogens of the Aviation Club Tennis Center, we watched a skirmish that was billed as a simple formality turn into a disaster. It was meant to be a warm-up lap. Defending one side, you had the American Colossus, the Grand Slam victor, the undeniable force currently ranked. World number 5, Coco Gauff, an athlete whose physical gifts define the gold standard. A woman carrying the entire weight of American expectations every time she ties her laces. Standing across from her, the insurgent, the 20-year-old southpaw from the Philippines, the ascending phenomenon who has been stealthily, clinically hacking her path into the top 40, Alexandra Eala. The headline is stark, but the fallout is a labyrinth. Coco Gauff has crashed out. You heard me right. The 5th-ranked player on Earth has been ejected from Dubai in a contest that was nothing short of a tactical clinic and a mental siege. Calling this a mere defeat for Gauff doesn't do it justice. This is an earthquake rattling the American tennis storyline for the season. The scoreboard reflects a tale of grit, faith, and total audacity from the underdog. Yet the atmosphere inside that arena whispers something else entirely. The torch is being passed. For the States, this is a siren blaring in the night. The headlines screaming USA shocked aren't just looking for clicks. They capture a raw emotion vibrating through the sport right now. Gauff was the heavy favorite, the fortress that wasn't built to crumble. But today, she didn't just battle an opponent. She battled the spirit of a nation. Alexandra Eala didn't just hit tennis balls. She dismantled a legacy. Over the next 60 minutes, we are going to dissect this showdown. Stroke by stroke, set by set, we will examine the forehand that hushed the American coaching box. We will scrutinize the psychological armor of a young Filipina sensation who locked eyes with one of the planet's scariest competitors and refused to flinch. We will break down exactly what this disaster spells for Gauff's ranking, her self-belief, and her entire campaign. And we will confront the burning question: is Alexandra Eala the new giant slayer of the WTA? Strap in tight. The desert storm is here, and her name is Alexandra. Let's get into it. Take a deep breath and let's frame this correctly. To grasp the sheer scale of today's events in Dubai, you need the backstory. You need to appreciate exactly where these two warriors stood before they stepped onto that violet hardcourt. Let's begin with the Titan. Let's talk Coco Gauff. Entering February 2026, Gauff has been waging a very particular kind of war. Sitting at world number 5 is treacherous territory. You are royalty, sure, a contender for every piece of silverware in sight, but you are also the target everyone is aiming for. Gauff has spent recent years fortifying her serve, re-engineering her forehand, and banking on that world-class speed that shrinks the court for anyone facing her. She touched down in Dubai on a crusade to hoard points, to stamp her authority, and to prime the engine for the Sunshine Double back home. In the US press, this clash was marked as an automatic win. It is the type of game you monitor with half a glance while scrolling through your inbox. It is the round of 32 or 16 speed bump that a top 5 icon is just supposed to hop over. And that assumption is a crushing burden. It is a heaviness that seeps into the legs and clouds the brain. Now, pivot to Alexandra Eala. The story surrounding Eala has been transforming at warp speed. If you were watching her back in 2024 or 2025, you spotted the spark. You recognized the Rafa Nadal Academy DNA. You saw the lefty torque that brings to mind the all-time greats. But in 2026, we are witnessing a new beast. We are witnessing Iron Will. Crashing into the top 40 was the warning flare. It was her announcement to the tour: I am not just a rookie anymore. I am a threat. Dubai plays fast. The elements are deceptive. The wind dances unpredictably around center court. It rewards the courageous, but destroys the careless. The opening exchanges went exactly according to the script. Gauff stormed out of the gate. Checking the data from the first 3 games, Gauff's first serve percentage was locked in near 78%. She was hitting her marks. She was pinning Eala deep behind the baseline. The American's backhand, that devastating two-handed laser, was drilling cross-court, carving out angles Eala was scrambling to defend. The underdog looked rattled. Let's face facts. Stepping onto the court against a Grand Slam titan sucks the oxygen right out of the room, and her error count in the opening 20 minutes reflected those nerves. Her timing was completely out of sync, unable to handle the heavy explosive pace coming off Gauff's strings. Coco seized the initial break to lead 2-1, then quickly cemented her advantage to go up 3-1. You can imagine the group chats lighting up across the states right then. Coco looks unbreakable, while Eala looks in over her head. It felt like just another day at the office, with Gauff moving fluidly, adding grunt to her strokes, and using high bounces to nullify the lefty forehand. But that is exactly when the narrative began to twist. No sudden fireworks, just a calculated shift in geometry. Trailing late in the first set, Eala started playing smarter, not harder. She abandoned the strategy of trying to overpower Coco because you simply cannot overpower Coco Gauff. The American is too explosive, so Eala switched tactics, deploying the can opener serve that wicked lefty slice swinging wide into the ad court. She began hammering Gauff's forehand side with heavy, dipping topspin shots. It is no secret that Coco's forehand can crumble under duress, especially when the ball kicks up high and away from her strike zone. Eala, trained by the elite, recognized this flaw and started looping deep high balls to that wing, forcing Coco to retreat and roll the return back instead of smashing it. The Filipino star did not steal the first set. Gauff closed it out 6-4. Yet, for the observant viewer, the tide had turned. Coco didn't win with dominance, she merely survived the onslaught. The final games of that opener were a grueling war of attrition, with Eala tracking down every shot and forcing Gauff to hit just one more ball. That is when the true battle materialized. As the second set launched, Eala emerged with an entirely new swagger. She was light on her feet, pumping her fist and feeding off Gauff's unforced errors. That body language screams belief, and the turning point arrived in the third game with Gauff serving at 1-all. After a rare double fault from Coco, Eala stepped inside the baseline on a second serve and absolutely crushed a forehand down the line. A clean, undeniable winner that sent a murmur through the stadium. This wasn't defense. It was a declaration of war. Eala broke serve to lead 2-1, and just like that, the pressure vaulted onto Gauff's shoulders. Here was the world number 5, down a break in the second set to a challenger ranked outside the top 30, and the tension was visible. Coco began to rush, trying to end points prematurely to disrupt Eala's flow, which was precisely what her opponent hoped for. The second set became a masterclass in controlled aggression from the Filipino sensation, utilizing every inch of the court. She lured Gauff forward with sharp cross-court angles, only to bury her with a lob or a passing shot. It was the kind of tactical variety you expect from a seasoned veteran, not a 20-year-old, and serving for the set at 5-4, the stakes were sky-high. The Dubai stands, packed with a massive Filipino community, absolutely erupted with deafening cheers. Chants reverberated through the arena. Imagine being Coco Gauff standing in the center of that storm. You are the heavy favorite, yet the entire stadium is willing the underdog to win, creating a palpable wall of noise. Eala double faulted on her first set point. Nerves flared, but she held firm. On the second opportunity, she ripped a brave serve out wide and closed it with a clinical drive volley. One set apiece, and we head to a decider, the deep waters where champions are made. Typically, this is where the elite assert their dominance, resetting mentally with a bathroom break and a splash of cold water. They returned to crush hope, and everyone expected Gauff to storm back with a 6-1 or 6-2 win, but Eala refused to follow that script. The third set turned into a gritty dogfight, physically punishing with both athletes drenched in the stifling humidity. Rallies stretched to 15, 20, 25 shots, with Gauff scrambling miraculously, throwing up moonballs and slicing to break Eala's rhythm. But Eala had entered that flow state, the zone where an athlete's eyes go vacant and focused. They tune out the roar of the crowd and see only the ball. Eala was painting the lines, especially with her backhand down the line. A weapon she has honed relentlessly, it was finding the corner with laser precision time after time. The pivotal break arrived at the business end. 4-all, Gauff serving, score locked at 30-all, and she misses her first serve. On the second, Eala gambled big, running around her backhand to unleash an inside-out forehand to return a massive risk. A miss would hand Gauff a game point, but she connected perfectly, sending the ball screaming past Coco to set up break point. What followed was the rally of the match, a 32-shot epic with Gauff defending for her life while Eala probed every corner of the court. Finally, Coco left a forehand hanging slightly short. Eala pounced, firing a winner into the open court. She secured the break to lead 5-4, stepping up to serve for the match against the world number 5 in a finale dripping with drama. Racing to a 40-love lead, she held 3 match points as the crowd rose to their feet and Filipino flags waved in a frenzy. But Gauff is a warrior. She fought off that first match point with a return that absolutely screamed defiance, 40-15. Then came the magic, a featherlight drop shot that left Eala stranded, erasing the second match point, 40-30. The air in the stadium was suffocating. Just one hurdle left. Force a deuce, and the entire energy of the match flips. Eala launched the toss, aiming right for the body. Gauff got handcuffed but managed to shovel a soft floater back to center. Eala stalked it, let it drop into her zone, and ripped an inside-out forehand straight to the backhand corner. Coco stretched for her life. An agonizing clack off the frame sent the ball sailing harmlessly out of bounds. Game, set, and history for Eala. The crowd erupted instantly. Her racket clattered to the court as she buried her face in her hands, drowning in pure shock. The lens swung over to Coco, capturing a frozen mask of absolute bewilderment. True to form, she offered a classy handshake, but her eyes betrayed the chaos in her mind. And why is America reeling right now? It isn't simply the loss on the scoreboard. Defeat is part of the game. It happens. The real story here is the times, manner, times of her downfall. She got outplayed on the chessboard by someone the stats said shouldn't even be in her league. This clash peeled back the curtain on the brutal reality of the modern WTA. The canyon between the elite top 5 and the hungry top 50 is narrowing by the hour. That freakish athleticism Gauff leans on? It's quickly becoming the entry fee just to compete. Eala didn't just keep up. She mirrored every step. She matched the fire in Coco's eyes. And for huge stretches, she actually outthought the American star. For fans back in the States, this is a rude awakening. We are conditioned to watch Coco bulldoze through these opening brackets. We bank on her making the finals. Seeing her crash out of Dubai this soon against an up-and-comer sets off alarm bells. Just a bad day at the office? Was the court too fast? Or are we witnessing the birth of a genuine nemesis? Let's address the elephant in the room regarding the top 5. Rankings reward showing up week after week. Gauff holds that number 5 spot because she is a machine. But in a sudden death bracket, your ranking doesn't swing the racket for you. Today proved that on any given afternoon, even a random weekday in the desert, your reputation can't save you. For Alexandra Eala, this is the turning point of a lifetime. This victory graduates her from prospect to threat. Taking down a top 5 titan at a Masters 1000 is the ultimate badge of a rival. It blows the tournament bracket wide open. It pumps a serious dosage of points into her standing. And in all likelihood, it catapults her into seeding contention for the majors on the horizon. But the real shift happens behind the scenes. When she strolls into the players' lounge tomorrow, the conversation stops. They will whisper, "There she is. The giant killer?" That kind of reverence? You pay for it in sweat and grit. And tonight, Eala paid the bill in full. Glancing at the Hawkeye telemetry streaming in, 2 numbers scream for attention. Number 1, forehand velocity. Believe it or not, in that deciding third set, Eala was clocking higher speeds than Gauff herself. She wasn't just rallying, she was punching holes through the court. Number 2, capitalizing on the big moments. Eala cashed in on 4 out of 6 break opportunities. Coco, just 2 out of 9. There is your headline right there. Ruthlessness. When Eala saw a crack in the door, she kicked it off the hinges. When Gauff had her chance, she blinked. That killer instinct is exactly what draws the line between good players and legends. And today, Eala touched greatness. We have to tip our caps to the game plan too. The strategy to bombard Gauff's forehand with heavy spin was absolute torture. Sure, it got messy. It dragged them into some gritty, unglamorous dogfights, but it worked like a charm. It baited errors. It drove the American up the wall. It was a tactical masterpiece painted in real time. And don't overlook the national pride at stake here. The Philippines has been starving for a tennis icon to call their own. They have conquered the ring, dominated the pool tables, and lived for basketball. But tennis? That is uncharted territory. The roar for Eala in Dubai, basically a home court given the crowd demographics, was a legitimate weapon. Gauff wasn't just battling an opponent, she was fighting the atmosphere. So, what is the fallout? For Coco, it is a grim march back to the training grounds. She has to dissect why she let the second set slip through her fingers. She needs answers for why her forehand crumbled under that lefty spin. She will bounce back, she has the heart of a champion, but this loss is going to leave a scar. For Eala, the war isn't won yet. The real enemy now is the adrenaline crash. You just took down the world number 5. Fantastic. Now do it again in 48 hours. Can she hit the reset button? Can she descend from Cloud 9 and bring that same ferocity against an underdog? That is the true exam. But for now, let's just revel in the anarchy. The Dubai Championships has its banner headline, "The bracket is obliterated." Toss your predictions in the shredder. A 20-year-old from Quezon City is standing tall amidst the desert dunes. Coming up, our experts are standing by for a frame-by-frame autopsy of that final tiebreak and what this earthquake does to the monthly rankings. We will also take you live to the press room, where the post-match commentary promises to be explosive. You are locked into the tennis deep dive. Don't touch that dial. The ground is still trembling as we conclude our coverage of what is indisputably the most electric day of the 2026 season. What remains is far more significant than numbers on a scoreboard. We are witnessing a total plot twist. Chaos is the heartbeat of this game. While we cherish the dynasties and idolize the untouchable legends, there is an adrenaline rush, a raw magnetic pull when an underdog flips the script. It is the very reason we watch. It proves the ending is never written in advance. Tonight, Alexandra Eala brought the storm. She stared down the rankings, ignored the history books, and refused to be intimidated. For stateside fans waking up to the headlines, this is a massive jolt. Coco Gauff is the gold standard of the sport. Seeing her exit this early shakes the foundation, but it proves the WTA field is a shark tank. The free passes are gone, the competition is fierce. And for the faithful in the Philippines and all of Asia, the wait is over. Eala has been pounding on the gates for 2 years. Tonight, she didn't just knock, she blew the doors off the hinges. The Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships rolls on. The bracket is wide open. The road to the trophy has completely changed. Who steps up to fill the void left by the world number 5? That is the mystery for the week ahead. We are tracking every smash, every return, and every breathtaking second right here. But right now, the story is simple. The giant has stumbled, and a new star is born. Reporting for the Tennis Deep Dive, I am your host. Thanks for tuning in. Don't blink, because if tonight taught us anything, it is to expect the unexpected. Good night.